Welcome back to the AHA method. I'm Johnny and today I actually have two balloons connected by a tube, sitting right here. One's bigger, one's smaller. There's a valve between them, closed for now. If I open it, which one do you think ends up bigger? Take a second, actually pick one. Alright, let's open the valve. Wait, the small one just died? I thought they'd meet in the middle. So here's our puzzle. Why doesn't the small balloon just even out with the big one? Okay, think about blowing up a balloon yourself. What's the hardest part? Starting. The first bit is always the hardest. Your cheeks hurt, nothing seems to happen. Then suddenly it gets easy, and you can practically blow up the rest of it in one breath. And right at the very end, before it might pop, hard again. Hard, easy, hard again. That's not your imagination, that's a real, measurable curve. So pause for a second. Why would a balloon get easier to blow up in the middle, and hard again at both ends? What's the rubber actually doing? Comment your guess below. Let's get Sir Isaac Newton on this one.
The mechanics of a stretched membrane. Splendid. Let us reason it out. Every curved, stretched skin obeys a simple rule. The pressure difference it can hold equals twice its tension, divided by its radius.
So, for the same tension, a bigger sphere needs less pressure to hold it. That's just geometry.
Precisely. But rubber's own tension is not fixed. It depends on how far it's already stretched.
Like a rubber band. Hard to start stretching, easier once it's already stretched, and hard again right before it snaps.
Picture the rubber's molecules as tangled, coiled springs. Stretch a little, and only a few of them resist. Stretch a lot, and you're pulling on all of them at once. They run out of slack, and the pressure needed shoots back up. Let's plot it. Pressure needed against how stretched the balloon already is.
There's a hump. Hardest to start, then a big easy valley, then hard again near the limit.
That peak sits at almost exactly 1/38 times the resting size. Now, connect two balloons, both already inflated past that peak, both sitting on the falling half of the curve.
The smaller one already has higher pressure than the bigger one, and the gap just keeps getting worse. Wait, so the same two balloons left alone would have just sat there fine? Connecting them is what broke everything.
Precisely. Isolated, each was perfectly stable. Joined by that tube, the pair became one system, and that system had no stable middle ground on the falling branch. On the falling branch, smaller radius always means higher pressure.
So it doesn't gently even out, it catastrophically collapses.
Notice, this whole argument was about the physics of stretched rubber. Nothing about air, nothing about lungs. Remember that.
Wait, my lungs have millions of tiny air sacs. Do they do this balloon thing too?
Now we must be careful. Those little sacs are not rubber. They are wet. Each one is lined with an impossibly thin liquid film. And liquid film has its own kind of tension. Surface tension. The same law applies. Pressure equals twice the tension over the radius.
But if the tension of a plain liquid stays roughly constant, pressure just keeps falling forever, there's no hump to save the small ones.
Precisely this curve. No hump, no valley. Just a steady climb in pressure as the sac gets smaller.
So small alveoli should always collapse into big ones, every single breath.
That is exactly the disaster the lungs must avoid. Their answer is a soapy film called Surfactant, and it does something clever. It lowers surface tension more when the sac is small, and less when the sac is large.
So the tension shrinks right along with the radius, and the pressure ends up nearly the same for every size.
The molecule doing most of the work is called DPPC, squeeze it, and it packs into a tight, rigid raft. Its tension drops fast. Stretch it, and it spreads thin again. A few helper proteins keep it flowing quickly enough to keep up with every single breath. Surfactant does for the lungs what rubber's hump did for the balloon, for a completely different reason.
So one little air sac really does empty into its neighbor, just like the balloons.
Not quite so dramatically, in truth. Real alveoli share walls with their neighbors and are held together in a fibrous scaffold. They are not two free balloons sitting on a table. Surfactant is still essential. Real lungs really do fail without it, but the failure looks softer, more shared across the whole tissue than one sphere emptying into another.
So the picture isn't perfectly literal, but the lesson still holds.
This puzzle is not new. In 1929, a physiologist named von Neergaard first showed that surface tension, not just stretchy tissue, governs how lungs recoil. It took until the 1950s for Patel and Clements to actually find the surface active substance itself.
Why the 25-year gap, if von Neergaard already suspected it in the 20s?
Lungs are inside out, my friend. Open one up to study its lining, and you disturb the very film you're trying to see. It took new techniques just to observe it without destroying it. And in 1959, Avery and Mead made the connection that mattered most. Babies born too early, whose lungs hadn't yet learned to make surfactant, faced exactly this collapsing alveoli problem.
But once doctors understood that, and could give premature babies real surfactant, outcomes improved enormously. Deaths from this fell by more than half. One more fun fact before we go. Unfold all the little air sacs in your lungs, and together they cover about half a tennis court.
2 lessons today, my friend. First, Laplace's law, together with the material's own stress behavior, explains a great deal of why does that feel backwards moments.
And second, when two things look like the same trick, check whether they're actually the same mechanism. Sometimes the honest answer is similar shape, different reason.
Keep wondering. Keep questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Newton. And thank you for watching. If this changed how you think about your next breath, hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. See you in the next one. Goodbye.